Hey, it's Sabine Franco, also known as Sabine the Purpose Lawyer, and I help create businesses, protect properties, and plan legacies so you can be safe while you pursue your purpose. So I've been creating these prep checklists for you to get prepared for 2021 so you could turn your dream into your vision for the new year. It could be for your personal life or for your business. And this week we've been talking about legacies, right? So a lot of times when people think about legacies, they're only thinking about it in terms of, their personal life, whereas this year has birthed so many new entrepreneurs, so many people have businesses and businesses that are flourishing with the change into, tech and online businesses. And so I wanted you to be mindful that not only do you need to protect your legacy personally, but you also need to protect the legacy of your business. So did you know that you should have an estate plan not only for yourself, but for your business? And so it's not exactly an estate plan for your business, but it incorporates your business. And some of the things that you can do to protect your business as you are planning for your legacies is 1, to have a buy-sell agreement, 2, to have a power of attorney for your business, and 3, to think about the debts that may survive your lifetime, okay? As you're considering how you're gonna plan for your family, etc. So first, let's talk about a buy-sell agreement. So a buy-sell agreement is basically if you have a partner or if more than one person is running your business, then you would have an agreement there that kind of says what's going to happen in the event that somebody passes away or somebody gets ill and can no longer, run or be a part of the business. That buy-sell agreement is sort of like a contract. And you could think of it as a business will, right? It sets all the terms, how are they going to buy the shares of the business or a part of the business, what's going to be the way that they go about doing that, the price, how would you value that, who's going to deal with what responsibilities, etc. And then when is that actual agreement triggered, right? What are the events that actually triggers that agreement? So that's something that's really important. And when you're thinking about, putting those agreements in place or considering, what to do with those type of agreements, it could be either your personal, like LLC, where you have more than one member, or it could be a partnership where you have, more than one owner, or even in a corporation where you have multiple owners. So there's all different types of businesses and all different types of, ways that you kind of, work together. And so you want to make sure you're considering those things if something should happen to one of your partners or yourself unexpectedly, right? And so you might be thinking, okay, if something happens to one of my partners, we can't necessarily buy the other person out. Well, if that's the case, there are some ways that you could go about making sure that you have those funds available. Something such as, a life insurance policy. Many companies get life insurance on the owners or executives or key people so that if they're no longer around or if they pass, they'll have that income to come in and be able to facilitate that purchase. So that is a good nifty trick that you could keep in mind. And life insurance policies can range from expensive to cheap. A lot of them, there's also term life insurance policies which tend to be really cheap. And so there are a lot of things that we could do to kind of, help you navigate those waters. So the second part is the power of attorney. A power of attorney is really a document that allows you to give authority to someone else to basically act on your behalf. So some of the things that a power of attorney allows someone to do is, banking transactions, real estate transaction, buying or selling. In the case of your business, they can, hire lawyers, sign contracts, hire, accountants, things of that nature. Whatever it is that you need to do within your business, you can give to someone else the power to do so. And that's important because statistics show that a lot of the businesses that fail, or a good number of them, is because someone either got ill or could no longer run the business. Like, how would you like for everything that you worked for, especially if you're somebody who does not have a partner, to kind of just go down the drain if something should happen to you? No, you kind of want that to live on, right? So that's something that you could put in place to make sure that you have a backup plan if you're not able to kind of, you know, go out there and run your business the way that you normally do. And it's really all about planning, right? So I had a client who has a business and knows that their loved ones does not actually want to take over the business. So the children not interested in the business, and the client was aware of that. So what they wanted to do was to put some things in place to make sure that the family could benefit from the business rather than, you know, the business just evaporating, right? And everything that they worked so hard for. And so what we did was we, you know, put in a provision that there would be someone that comes in the event of his passing, and that person would now be able to sell the business and distribute the funds to the family members, right? So it's all about just planning. If you don't plan, then you're really planning to fail. And so with that being in place, now his family will be able to get the benefits of all his hard labor and not really have to worry about, you know, all being lost, right? And that's just by, you know, putting a few mechanisms in place. And so the third thing I wanted you to think about is debts. So I get this question a lot as to whether or not your debts actually follow you when you pass away. And the answer is it kind of depends. So it depends on the debt. It depends on the debt, right? But I can say that most of the time, the debt is going to stay with the estate. So what does that mean? That means you need to plan for that debt actually taking away some of the assets that the estate owns, right? So if the estate has, you know, $1 million, but you have, you know, $1.5 million in debt, that's not going to work. That's not going to leave anything for your estate. So another good strategy to do is to also incorporate maybe an insurance policy for something like that, or to make sure that the assets are there to cover the debt. Sometimes what you could do is kind of sell one asset or provide one asset to pay for a debt, and that way all the other assets that are left can actually go to the person who you intended it to go to. But, you know, insurance policies are kind of good because it allows us to have this additional influx of income that is tax-free, that can pay off some of these debts and unexpected expenses, and then can also provide for somebody else. So like, for instance, when we were talking about the business, if you had one child or family member that did want to keep on and run the business, and therefore you didn't want it to sell, what do you do for everybody else who's not putting in the labor and working for the business? Life insurance comes into play there as well. So this is really not a plug for life insurance, but it does actually help interplay with your trust and estates planning. And I do want you to be mindful that your business is an asset and it's going to live on past you. And so you want to continue to plan for not only that, but yourself as well. Hope this was helpful. You'll be able to download the full legacy prep checklist to help you while you're kind of thinking about what type of plan you might need to put in place, and help you kind of realize the things that should be considered, okay? And get ready for the new year. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you can get notified when I post these videos, and leave a comment down below. Tell me how you felt about this video and what else you'd like to hear.